Galli here, who's our VP of Connected Operations. I know I've reached out to a few of you in advance and let you know that we just announced our new asset tag, and so David's going to talk you through today about the new product, why it matters for the industry. He's going to do about 15-20 minutes of a presentation. We're going to get you a live demo so you can actually see the product in action, and then we'll save about 10 minutes at the end for questions. So without further ado, and also if you need a little sugar kick, we've got some stickers on the table. There will be context for those, but help yourself. So I'll let David take it away.
Morning, thanks for coming. So equipment theft and loss is a huge problem in the construction industry. We estimate that it's $1 billion conservatively in the United States every year. The interesting thing about this is that most people think immediately of the replacement costs. We have customers that talk about $28 million shrinkage budget per year, for example. But a lot of the costs are actually sort of the knock-on effects that are sort of maybe unattributed at first glance. Things like delays in job sites, inability to get work done, erroneous purchases, etc. And so Samsara is here to help with exactly those kinds of problems, and so we'll talk about that. For a little context, Samsara is the AI platform for construction. These are several of our customers that have been with us for a long time. And one of the unique features about the way we work is we run a feedback loop with these customers. So they are adopting products like our traditional telematics systems, our safety-based products, and they came to us and said, hey, we have this other problem that is really massive and kind of going unignored in the industry. There are no solutions today that solve this. So 2 years ago, in partnership with them, we built this product, which is the Asset Tag. It's the AT11. It's kind of the size of a fun-sized candy bar. It's the stickers on the desk. And it's been a remarkable product for them. They've been able to protect millions of dollars of equipment, recover stolen assets, and really what we've been doing over the past 18 months since that launch is doubling down, figuring out how we can make this product even better, how we can take those results from millions of dollars of recovered assets to tens, hundreds of millions of dollars of recovered assets, add new use cases, etc. So that's really what today's press conference is about. I'm going to show you some of the innovation that we've been working on over the past 18 months. So I think an important piece of context here is people often think of asset tracking as a point solution. There's a traditional GPS, cellular-based tracker. It's really prohibitive for a lot of construction equipment we're talking about. Traditional cell-based trackers have a fundamental challenge, which is you have to trade off battery life and resolution, temporal resolution. How many times a day can I see the thing versus how long is the battery going to last? And they tend to be expensive, they tend to be big, and that's because the underlying architecture of those devices requires expensive silicon. It's power-hungry silicon, so that big batteries and all this kind of stuff. So we took a radically different approach with this, and we made the first at-scale commercial Bluetooth tracker of the Asset Tag. The way these products work is they leverage Bluetooth. Not regular Bluetooth, they're using industrial strength sort of variant of Bluetooth, and they're talking to the Samsara network. That network is comprised of our millions of gateways on the road, and vehicles, trailers, pieces of power equipment, and a job site. This network is the most at-scale network of portal physical operations. We're on 99% of every road in the United States.
Oh.
Go. And so we marry kind of the Bluetooth strength of this Asset Tag with the scale of this network. You all of a sudden can discover something that you have a really magical product experience. You can go track down this piece of equipment. The important thing to remember is that it's not just the network, it's not just the device, it's also the workflow that goes on top of it. Now, it's not about one thing, but leveraging the power of AI, the power of scale to help customers recover stolen equipment, manage inventory is kind of the secret sauce. And so today we've got several announcements across all three dimensions of the Asset Tag: the network, the workflows, and the device. So to start with, on the network, the important thing about this network is that it grows every single day. In fact, since we launched the product 18 months ago, the network strength has doubled, which is pretty remarkable. The other aspect that's pretty exciting is we invested in and partnered in with a company called Hubble Network. And so we've now onboarded their network to the Samsara network. So there are now 80 million additional gateways scanning for Asset Tags. And what this does is it extends the reach of the Samsara network from the building, from the job site, the road, the residential area, into the building where the Hubble network is often present. And this is really powerful because it means that when devices do get stolen, potentially into a home or a high-rise building or whatever it may be, a different warehouse, we now have visibility even into there. So the point is that with the power of this network and the scale of this network, it's very, very difficult for the Asset Tag to hide. So I mentioned the devices, which is the next sort of key piece here. We like to double down when we see something that's working, we want to invest. And so the AT11 is great, we've seen tons of success with it. And today we're announcing two new products, the AT12, which looks very similar to the AT11. It's got a couple key differences. been able to, in this exact same form factor, increase the battery life by 50%. So now that's 6 years maintenance free. Basically means that any piece of construction equipment is trackable sort of generally for the life of that equipment. And we've also heard from customers that there are other pieces of equipment, smaller things, rebar scanners, core drills, things where even this is awesome as it is, maybe just a little too large. And so we've announced the bite-sized version of it, which is the 1813, which is like this. And in tandem, what these two devices do is they work as a team, and they can now blanket your entire operation. So there's not a piece of equipment that our customers cannot track with these two products working together. So, kind of punchline is both of them are using sort of different variant of Bluetooth. Both of them are super ruggedized. They're meant for this world. They last 6 years, 3 years. Same kind of core technology under the hood, which is very different use cases depending on the assets. I thought what would be now interesting to do is actually just sort of show you a demo of what this looks like, because it's great to have hardware, it's great to have a network, but those things need to work with a workflow in order to actually be useful for our customers. And this is an area where we spend a lot of time building and taking advantage of sort of the scale of Samsara to make something that's really differentiated. One of the key ways that we hear from our customers that equipment gets stolen is it falls off the back of the truck. In other words, a vehicle is going to a job site and something, we stop at a gas station, whatever it might be, a piece of really mission critical, expensive, small asset gets dropped off or knocked off. And so what we've done is we've actually built out a left behind incident. And what we're going to be able to do here is we're going to figure out on behalf of the customer automatically using AI that something has gone amok and help them investigate this really quickly so they can get ahead of the issue. We know from our customers that often it takes them now days, maybe weeks to notice something stolen. So the idea that we can help them figure this out proactively is really powerful. Let me start with a little bit of context though. So this is a piece of GNSS surveying equipment. You'll see it at most job sites. Customers are using this to sort of figure out where they ought to operate, what they're doing here. We've used AI to figure out a bunch of stuff about this. So number one, you can see it's surveying equipment. We've decoded it's a piece of Trimble. It's an SBS 855. It costs about $25,000. So this is the kind of stuff that gets ripped off all the time. This is where the shrinkage budget of $28 million I alluded to earlier, this is what makes it up, pieces of equipment like this. What we're able to do is provide a lot of context to customers. We can see that Faz had this. He was driving an F-150 when he was using it. This is all done automatically. That F-150 is tracked in Samsara. It detects the asset tag, it detects the presence of it, it detects them moving together, and so we can just sort of do this on behalf of the customer without any intervention, manual work to do this. So, this is our new left behind incident. I'm going to sort of walk you through what we're seeing here. We'll kind of go through a play-by-play. So I'll pause in a second here just to give you some context. What we're looking at up here is a replay of what events that took place last week. We see the vehicle moving here with that piece of surveying equipment. The blue line indicates they're on a trip together. We've sort of figured out automatically right here they were traveling together. So we'll keep it in play. This is totally benign. This is kind of expected behavior. We're just going to drive to the job site and do a piece of work. And what we can do is really sort of monitor the journey of this $25,000 piece of kit. And what we'll see here in a second is an anomaly. An anomaly that actually takes place in the field. So we can pause it, we can zoom in here and take a look. What we detect is that the asset is left behind here. Okay? We can see the vehicle, the Faz, kept driving. We can see this asset, this GNSS kit, started moving south. They just separated. And if we zoom in here, this is not a known geofence. We don't really know what this is. We don't have a ton of context, but this seems sort of suspicious. Keep playing it out and kind of see what happens here. But he does not notice the driver Faz. He keeps going, and that piece of equipment continues to travel south. So this seems suspicious, and our customers like to investigate what's going on. So what we can do is we can actually leverage the camera that's in the vehicle, tracked by Samsara, to get a little context. First, we can see a photo of exactly when the assets were linked. So we see Faz and somebody else in here moving along, and that's fine. And then we can get a photo of, hey, what happened when they were actually when that asset was separated. If we click in here, we can see something kind of interesting. There's the driver, but if we click on the video feed looking forward, we can see there's actually a gas station. It was parked in a pilot when that asset was separated from the back of the truck. So that's anomalous. You wouldn't expect that GNSS kit to leave the back of the truck while you're parked in a gas station. So something suspicious here. The next thing our customers want to do is recover the asset. And one of the big questions our customers have is, hey, how do I know whether it's safe to dispatch my person to go recover it? Do I want to involve law enforcement or not? Sometimes these are stolen to a sketchy warehouse. Sometimes they're erroneously left behind and you go pick them up. So we can actually leverage the power of Samsara and provide nearby photos from real time through the power of our networks to give full context, to see where this thing is. And that sort of informs the decision. Do I want to dispatch the police? Do I want to involve somebody else? Whatever. The next thing I can do is I can mark this as missing, which is great. So this is subscribing to updates. If this asset moves, I can subscribe myself and anybody else. I'll subscribe to files. This was stolen, and we can mark it as missing. At this point, anytime this asset moves, I'm going to get information about it. So I don't have to go back to the page, I don't have to refresh, I don't have to make phone calls. It just sort of streamlines the process of recovery. And finally, what I can do here is actually message the driver, and I can actually dispatch somebody. So I can say, hey, I think you left this bag erroneously, you go pick it up. If that person is driving, you can play this audio into their cabin and go from there. So finally, once it says dispatch, we can create a live share link. So if you want to create a live share, for instance, share with law enforcement, that's got rich context in it, photos, contact information, notes, whatever it may be, I can go ahead and do that and share with police or a 1099 worker or whoever it may be. So you can kind of see what that looks like here. Yes, Wi-Fi exists. And then finally, I won't demo today, but the workflow extended in the mobile context. So these devices have what we call compass mode. They can go pinpoint these with their phone and really track them down. Once tracked down, the next step is to actually sort of show customers exactly where they're getting value. So if we go back to our overview of their inventory, we can actually see that this customer is tracking, $530,000, but they recovered $300,000 from stolen equipment using this workflow. This ROI is kind of looking right from the face and really making it easy for them to understand why they made the purchase and sort of what the value is. So hopefully that made sense. We partner, as I mentioned, with customers to build, and so I thought the next thing to do is show you a video of one of the customers we worked with, the Silver Gates, and kind of how we partner with them to build the latest generation of asset tags.
That's a 230,000-pound machine just got spun sideways by a rock.
We are here at the Silver Gates in San Jose to introduce the latest asset tag, the AT12. This thing is packs a punch. It is built for the world of physical operations. We have added new technology so that you can do precision find nearby. We've extended the battery life by 50%, and we made yard accuracy 10 times better than the previous generation. I'm here with Rich, who's the equipment superintendent at Silver Gates.
They oversee all the shop operations for DeSilva on every piece of equipment you see out here.
Can you tell us a little about where we are and what's going on at this particular site?
Right there is all the antennas, so that's why we call it Communication Hill, and that is the nickname for the job. We are moving approximately 6 million cubic yards of dirt. I forget how many homes, but it's over 1,000 that are going in here.
What kind of stuff do you have here? What are you tagging with asset tags?
Everything from 657 scrapers. We have a GPS case over there, which we already showed you how that's buried inside. Since we went to the asset tags, our recovery rate on thefts all the way down to gas-powered saws is 100%. We've recovered everything that has been stolen since we went to asset tags. So since then, we have decided to asset tag the entire fleet. Everything we own is getting a tag on it, which is probably going to be upwards of 4,000 to 5,000 tags by the time we're finished.
100% is pretty good. How much do you think your tag cost roughly?
Oh, anywhere from, I would say our threshold would be about $1,000 all the way up to $2.8 million.
So we built the asset tag with you. You were one of the early beta testers. We co-designed this product together. Maybe tell us about the Find Nearby feature that you helped us develop.
The reason I like Find Me so much is it's one thing to get within 800 feet of something, but 800 feet when you're in a congested area can be a lot of locations that things can be stolen.
Well, we got a new Find Nearby. Want to put it to the test?
Sure. Wow. Not that it was bad before, but that is a lot better.
There we go. 1 foot, and here it is. There in the box.
That is awesome. It's within arm's reach. I like that. That's neat.
Pretty cool, right?
That is really cool. I didn't think you guys could really make it any better.
We do our damnedest. We push.
Okay. So I think in conclusion, we've invested a lot over the past 18 months. We learned after the launch of the first product. It's a lot of success. Basically doubled down. We've seen significant improvement in the network, both through organic expansion with Samsara, but also with our partnership with Double. The workflow is now sort of supercharged to really make theft and loss something of the past, and we've got 2 new devices to cover everything in the operation. Open up to questions.